This is going to be a little bit of a different video. Now, first of all, I'm choosing Gran Turismo as the backdrop for this video. You might find that kind of interesting, but it has some really cool, relaxing music, and I also made some Hunter x Hunter car art. So let's do that. We'll go to, let's see, we can start with, let's go to the Pito car first, and we'll start from there. And then what I can do is I can do the view car. Yeah, I think so. So, as you can see, there's the Pito car going through town. And it's actually a little bit updated since I showed it several months ago. I added some like aura effects to the sides of the car too. So, anyway, let's talk about the series, guys. So, I have no notes in front of me, but again, this is kind of a relaxing discussion video, and I want this to be a place where people can post discussion topics. And actually, while we do that, let me just make sure I have the chat options on. Hang on a second. This is actually a time where I will want to see the share of education. Now that should fix it. Okay, yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So that, now I'll be able to see comments. So, again, we're just playing Gran Turismo kind of in the background because of the Hunter x Hunter car art that I made. And it's kind of a relaxing game. It's like relaxing music. So hopefully this is a nice way to just, chat about the series. Okay, so let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. Up to the manga, all right? And I'll probably post this video to the Reddit page for Hunter x Hunter, but let's talk, guys. Let's talk about the Succession War arc, okay? So what is the Succession War arc? It is an arc for dominance where the princes of Kakin, which are the royal heirs to the throne of the sixth great nation of the Hunter x Hunter society. They are currently in a death match of sorts. It's kind of a war of politics, mind games, and betrayal. It's a succession war. The word war, it's kind of it's more like a killing games, like almost an athletic or political competition versus a war at this point. The thing is that war could easily break out. So the boat that these princes are on is actually just one floor of the whole massive ship of 200,000 civilians who are going to be used actually to basically generate aura for probably what we consider to be a secret weapon that's connected to the Succession War and King Nasubi. But the princes are on the first floor, the top deck, the most prestigious elite deck. It's cut off from the other floors unless you have a Nen ability or connections to a prince through the Mafia. Yes, there is a Mafia influence on this boat as well. And there are three families of the Mafia. The Char, Haley, and the... oh my god. Why the hell am I forgetting that name? It's the one I never remember. Oh my god, I'm sorry guys. Again, I don't have notes in front of me, but the three Mafia families. I always forget that last one. They all have ties to the princes. So the princes have been doing shady stuff even before this killing contest, the Succession War, took place. So Kakin is anything but a clean, happy-go-lucky society. It is dirty, it is dark, it is full of corruption. And the princes are no strangers to that culture. So, right now, let's talk about the major events that we have up until this point. And this is starting from when the boat took off from port. So, Kurapika was able to become a bodyguard for the 14th or youngest prince. And that's Wobble. It's a little baby girl. And Oido, who is the mother, who is Nasubi's 14th queen. No, that's wrong. Because some of the queens married twice. I forget which number she is, but she's the latest. She's the youngest. And they gave birth to Wobble. Now, for Kurapika's character, this whole thing of being, the bodyguard for Wobble. This sounds like a new song I've never heard. Did they add new music? Maybe. So, Kurapika's kind of finding some character development here just from the fact that he's taking care of an innocent little baby. Think about it. This baby has no, free will or ability to think for itself. It's a baby. And Kurapika's task is to make sure this baby makes it through the entire war and doesn't die. Now, this is a whole new thing for Kurapika to express deep, tender caring for somebody. Because in the series, we've only seen him post the Kurta massacre. And he's kind of a detached individual, even to the people he's very close to. His friends. I feel like in this arc, this is more of almost a family-based connection. Like, he's almost adopting this baby. And, some people even joke about, Kurapika and Oido can get it on, they can, they can leave the boat together. But, that's kind of the thing. It's like, Kurapika feels like he is the guardian angel of this little baby. That's something brand new for his character. He's always been about vengeance and revenge and getting in the eyes and killing the spider. But now this baby, he's going to care for this baby. And that's kind of a really important purpose for his character. And hey, welcome to the stream. We're just, again, I'm talking about the Hunter x Hunter story. And I'm showing just some Gran Turismo in the background because it's relaxing. So Kurapika, we're on the boat here. We're talking about Kurapika's character development. So he has this new little baby to take care of and protect. So that's a new element to Kurapika's character. Now, at the same time, let's not forget that Kurapika's main objective, although this Oido and Wobble are now a new important part of his role, the real, truthful reason why he's involved in this in the first place is because his clan's eyes are on board as well, and they are with the 4th prince. Oh, great song. I love this song. We can talk about a fucking monster. This song turns on. Kurapika's main nemesis, Tserriednich. Now, Tserriednich is the main villain of this arc. It's clearly illustrated that he will become the big threat. The issue is when and how, and who is Tserriednich going to impact when everything is said and done, right? Tserriednich is a fucking monster. This dude is learning Nen in days. He already has specialist abilities that far transcend anything we've seen in the series. He has the ability to perceive the future, influence the present in an instant, all without anyone around him knowing, and then in that moment alter reality and change fate so that whatever happened in his reality is instantly reflected upon everyone else's reality. And, this is connected to like a JoJo's ability by King Crimson, one of the stands in the show. But it's a future manipulation ability. Tserriednich unlocked this during the Succession War. He just learned about Nen within like a week's time, and he's already reading the future. This is mind-blowingly powerful stuff. That is, Nen can do this. Yeah, he has to go into Zetsu, but another thing, what makes Tserriednich so dangerous, is how crafty he is, how methodical he is. He thinks all the time. While he's silent and in Zetsu, he's thinking about everything. And in this Succession War, if he were in Zetsu, no one would know that he's actually using an ability. Think about it. In Hunter x Hunter's verse, Zetsu indicates you're trying to hide from somebody. No one that we've seen to this point can use Zetsu for an ability. It's kind of opposite of what Zetsu indicates. So Tserriednich already has the advantage. And somebody's going to have to find this out. So Kurapika will somehow need to know and learn about Tserriednich's ability. Whether it's by using one of Benjamin's abilities, because again, Kurapika has Steel Chain. He could maybe spy on Tserriednich. Maybe he will befriend, I don't know, like for example, Theta. You know, there are things that could happen in the Hunter x Hunter storyline that you just don't see coming. And in this Succession War, Kurapika could all of a sudden befriend somebody for the hell of it. So Tserriednich is growing fast. It will become a battle between Kurapika and Tserriednich at some point. I do not doubt that. Now, will Kurapika be the one to kill Tserriednich? I mean, it would only make sense. Although, it may also be interesting if Tserriednich gets consumed by the Succession War, or he evolves into something else. Maybe his Nen Beast takes over, becomes a whole new life form. Like, we don't fucking know. We really don't know what could happen. So that's like the central focus, Kurapika and Tserriednich, and that's kind of that main hero-villain storyline. Now let's expand a little bit more from that. Kurapika is trying to empower all of the Hunter bodyguards that are on the first floor with the understandings of Nen, to give everyone sort of an even playing field so that they're not instantly slaughtered by, for example, Silent Majority, that fucker who's going around and sucking the blood out of people, which is an ability that is extremely hard to detect and also stop. If the snakes bite you, you're pretty much a goner. So that fucker using Silent Majority is still out on the loose, and Kurapika is trying to protect the bodyguards so that no one party can abuse the situation. So everyone has a defense mechanism. He's giving guns to everybody, basically. Everybody has a way to protect themselves and find a common understanding that this Nen stuff, you know, can protect them and their prince, and no one party has an advantage. Kurapika is trying to even the playing field in this very chaotic situation and kind of establish a law and order. But don't worry, there's plenty of chaos still going on. Tserriednich, obviously, in the background doing his thing. You have Halkenberg. Oh, Halkenberg. As long as Halkenberg is with his posse, his followers, his Nen goes to... I mean, it's shaking the floor. It's shaking the first floor. They're feeling it in rooms far away. The aura is apparently 9 meters. I think they said 9 meters, or 3 meters and 9 meters, but it was like that large. Now, while Pito's is kilometers, that's a whole different ballgame. But for the intent and purposes of a brand new Nen user, that's a very large aura. That's a very large aura that's also sending ripples and shockwaves. The more time you give this man, Halkenberg, who now also has a broken one-on-one Nen arrow ability, you're giving him more time to become powerful. And Halkenberg, just like Tserriednich, is going to benefit from time more than any other prince. These two will benefit from time. And so will Zhang Li. Because Zhang Li is connected to the Char family. The Mafia family. Apparently, the mob boss is his actual father. So the more time you give Zhang Li, the more he will learn and understand and potentially get help from the Char family. Maybe the Mafia, when they do invade the Succession War, Zhang Li will then all of a sudden find himself on the right side of everything with all these Char mobsters working for him. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing, right? This pacing, this current flow could be interrupted immediately, and we could have all-out chaos. You have Tubepa, again, studying and analyzing the situation. The more time you give Tubepa to hone her abilities and technologies that she's creating in her lab, and we don't know what our Nembeast is really doing, but we can only assume that it's basically mixing chemicals for Tubepa to use and apply to the war. That apparently her ability is to alter existing abilities, which is kind of interesting because we've seen characters that can give new abilities, but we haven't seen characters that can change existing abilities. And it sounds like Tubepa can alter and enhance abilities. Now, that could be used to just empower somebody with a new set of abilities, or it could probably be used to nullify somebody's ability into something completely different and possibly completely useless. So Tubepa, again, benefits a lot from time. You look at characters like Camilla and Luzurus, they don't really benefit as much from time. In fact, Camilla would benefit from a quick and easy victory with her curse ability. The faster she can invoke the curse, the less prep time that the other princes have. And Camilla's curse ability, right now, is arguably the scariest thing in this war. That curse ability could end everybody. So the faster Camilla enacts her plan and launches the curse on everybody, the better for her. Because she doesn't really have any more power to gain. It's really about setting the stage and completing her mission. So she needs to do this stuff quickly, and she needs to get these curses off and running. So she needs her guards to off themselves, get the curses on the other princes, and kill them, or at least steal their aura, before they can develop their powers. Luzurus is smoking weed. Honestly, I don't know what Luzurus is doing. He's smoking weed with Bancho, and he's connected to the Mafia. But I don't know. I feel like Luzurus could die, and Tyson too. Tyson is benefiting from time, getting more and more loyalty from the Book of Tyson. But again, I don't look at Tyson and go, "Oh yeah, this is a future king, and this is going to be a character who wins the war." We need obviously more development and plot progress for these characters, but they're two of the ones I see least favorable to win the war. So Luzurus and Tyson, we need to see more, in my opinion. Also, you have Miriam and Fugetsu. Well, let's start with Fugetsu. Fugetsu is kind of, I would say, naive, because obviously it just happened with Kacho and the Nenbeast protecting her, but at the same time, not only does she have a warping ability, which is pretty powerful in this scenario, it allows her to actually even escape the first floor, but she now has this Kacho Nenbeast, and we don't know what it can do. That's the amazing thing. We don't know what the Kacho Nenbeast ability can do. It's an after-death ability. So can this thing fucking freeze everybody? Can this thing, I don't know, give Kacho superhuman strength and powers? Can this thing... Who knows, man? I just don't know. it'll be very interesting to see what the Kacho after death ability can do, if we ever do get to see it. Because Togashi sometimes doesn't show us the things he builds up, like the shadow beasts. So, again, Fugetsu and the Kacho Nen Beast. We'll see. Because that has yet to be discussed further, seen. We just don't know. And then Mariam. Now, Mariam is, we have the pocket dimension of Mariam's beast. So they're kind of in an alternate pocket dimension. And you also have Biscuit as the Guardian. Now, Biscuit is one of the strongest hunters we know of in the verse. If Mariam dies, and you have Hanzo too, of course, using the ghost ability. But if Mariam dies, it will definitely make Biscuit look, incompetent. Or at the very least, you have to get Biscuit involved in something serious before I would accept Mariam dying. So, for me, Mariam has some more time to go before he's off. Because more main characters are connected to him, I don't see Mariam dying next, for example, which would be shocking. So right now, in my opinion, Lazarus or Tyson are the next to go. It's just my opinion. It's just what I think is going to happen. And maybe you can agree, disagree. That, again, this is all speculation. And it's just a discussion. That's all this video is. I'm not here to, tell you, this has to be what happens. No, this is what I think will happen. Now, so we've talked about Kurapika Tserriednich. That's kind of the core conflict in this arc. You can take everything else that's going on, but just never forget that's the core conflict of the Succession War arc. It's Kurapika and Tserriednich. And what's also fascinating about that, one more point before I move on to the next topic here. Kurapika and Tserriednich both have powers that relate to time. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Kurapika is cutting off his lifespan using Emperor Time. Tserriednich is seeing into the future and altering his very existence and life in the moment. I just find that interesting. One character is losing his future, and the other character is arguably gaining his future and rewriting it. It's just kind of interesting to me. It makes for a very fascinating dynamic. And the only way I see Kurapika beating Tserriednich, and I know people say, well, Kurapika's fucking broken, he's Emperor Time. But this guy Tserriednich, if you give him a month, he will go 1,000,000 miles. Because if he starts seeing the future way ahead, way ahead, if it develops the ability, then you won't be able to stop him because he will predict everything you do. If his future reading becomes so advanced. So, Kurapika needs to steal some very important ability, in my opinion, to not only deal with Tserriednich's future ability, but also his Nen Beast. And that Specialist Beast, which we think is the future ability, but we still haven't had that proven to us yet. That additional beast that pops up behind him with the giant fucking legs and wings. That thing, it could be a manifestation of something far more sadistic. We just don't know yet. So Kurapika will need a power-up, basically, in my opinion. Even though he is extremely powerful, we're just learning how hacks these princes can get so quickly. Especially with these guardian beasts by their side. So I think Kurapika needs to steal some extremely crucial ability. What is that ability? I don't know. Now, if Steel Chain can steal a Nen Beast, which I don't... Because, again, we had Predator eat a Nen Beast. So it's possible that Kurapika could steal a Nen Beast. It is possible. And if that's possible, then Kurapika could steal any of the Nen Beasts. Or hell, he could even steal Tserriednich's Nen Beast, theoretically. But Tserriednich would see the future, which is why I doubt it. If Kurapika were to steal a Nen Beast, maybe he would steal Wobbles, which we still don't know what it does. Maybe he would steal Mariam's. Hell, maybe he would steal Halkenberg's. Whatever. But I think like that's something Kurapika has to do. Just my opinion. So, meanwhile, you have Benny Boy, Benjamin, the first prince, my dude. Benjamin, I feel like, is only going to lose out if he waits. And actually, we saw Balsamico get a court order and arrest Halkenberg, put him away from his guys, which is exactly what was necessary. That's how you weaken Halkenberg. Isolate him. Isolate him from his men so that they can't give him all that fucking aura. And they can't use the arrow ability to its fullest potential. Actually, I don't think he can use the arrow ability at all because it requires the soul of one of his nearby followers. So, you remove him from his posse, you put Halkenberg in jail, and he's no longer a threat. You can actually just off him with a regular pistol at that point. So, actually, no, you can't because of the Nen Beast. But you can probably take care of him, you know, with a special Nen ability of some kind or something. So, I don't know, guys. I feel like Halkenberg's not done. Halkenberg is developing a huge power, and I don't think he's done yet. He has this whole thing with Nasubi, internal conflict, but Benjamin needs to act. Benjamin needs to act quickly. He needs to start being the aggressor while the rest of the princes are still developing. If he does not strike, if he does not get things done quickly enough, Tserriednich, for example, is going to predict the fuck out of this guy. And even with all of his intel and all of his guys, Tserriednich is going to be a step ahead. So, that's not even talking about the next topic, which is the fucking Phantom Troupe. And our boy, Hisoka. So, we have the Phantom Troupe working with the mob, kind of. They are looking for Hisoka and have promised to help the mob, find him, and hell, maybe they'll even go to the first floor. You have Morena. I mean, jeez. Morena can give out powers after you've killed a certain number of people for her. Like, what the fuck? Although her lower level mobsters are pretty stupid, as we saw in the last chapter. They got bodied because they were actual skilled Nen users can take them out, but you give them time, and those mobsters from Arena, they can become powerful. So you have the troop is looking. They're splitting up and looking. When is Hisoka going to strike? Is Hisoka going to strike? And is Hisoka going to work with Illumi? Or are they really fighting each other? These are all the big questions, right? Honestly, I would not be shocked if Hisoka had an alternative motive to send Illumi to fuck everything up while he does something else. Because think about, just picture this. Picture this. You thought Crollo was strong in the fight against Hisoka? You think he's strong? You really? Put Illumi on a boat with 200,000 people. Zombies. Go ahead. We don't know the limit of Illumi's powers, but in a confined space of a mass populace, this dude is God tier. If he can take control of 10,000 people, for example, he is going to wreck shit. If Illumi can take control of princes, if Illumi can take control of mobsters, Morena, her people, he's God tier. Illumi is an extremely powerful threat in this arc. There's absolutely no doubt He has so many puppets ready to be used. All he has to do is hit the right ones at the right time, and he is going to have a freaking ridiculous army on his side. And he can make it quick. He could get these people under his control in minutes. The whole bottom cafeteria floor could belong to Illumi. Then you have the spider dealing with 10,000 people, whereas Hisoka had to deal with a couple hundred. And that would be payback. The spider having to fight 10,000 people like Hisoka had to fight a couple hundred. See how the tables can turn here? And that's why Illumi is so crazy in this arc. I'm so hyped about that character in this setting on this boat. It's just fantastic. I'm going to change up the cars while we're just having a nice chat here. Let's see. Actually, let's go to the Hisoka car because we're talking about the motherfucker. So here goes the Hisoka bungee mobile. There's the properties of both. So Illumi is ridiculous in this war. And I feel like Hisoka and Illumi had a discussion about what they could do on this boat. I would not be shocked if this eventually happens. Okay. But we'll see. And then, my goodness, you know, you have the Zodiac on this boat. You have the Zodiac. The fucking the Zodiac. And beyond Netero. I mean, what else do I have to say? You have the strongest human Nen users that we know of in the series on this boat right now. What? And yeah, they don't really want to fight, but if they have to, they will. It's just a fucking shit show. So this arc will absolutely explode at a certain point. It's going to be, in my opinion, the setup is so incredible because right now we have 18 different directions and different ways that this story could converge into a battle, right? And the battle would have a billion parts to it. So you'd have this faction attacking this faction, and that would affect this faction, and this faction would go this faction. That's what's crazy about it. We don't have a to B direction. We have an A to B to C to D to E to F to G. You know, random direction style plot line here. Although we have a couple of plot points we can see, Kurapika and Tserriednich, for example, and then you have Hisoka and the Phantom Troops even here. You at the very least have the Phantom Troop in a fucking hell, a shithole scenario on this goddamn boat. So there's that. And yeah, will we get Hisoka in the next set of chapters? I doubt it. As sad as that is to say, I feel like Hisoka is only going to really come out if we see the Troupe start killing people and maybe even going to the first floor. And is Hisoka working for Morena? That would give him a massive ability to get a huge power boost. He would get a new ability. He'd get a new ability at 21. He'd get... I have to go research the actual description of the ability. I think if he gets to level 100, he then becomes, like, the new leader of Morena's... Like, Hisoka would kill 100 people in a second. Like, this man could get a whole new ability, a whole new power-up just by working for Morena. There he is, on that fucking car. I'm not getting a great angle. Oh, I do forget, the graphics in this game are fucking outstanding. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so Hisoka has the ability, the opportunity to become Ultra Hacks if he works for Morena. Then you have Illumi with all of his puppets, all the people he can take control of. He can even take control of key players. He can take control of fucking Nasubi if he wanted to. Go for it. Why not? I mean, fuck. This could happen. He can take control of guards who can give him access to the floors. I mean, Illumi doesn't fucking care. He's already on floor fucking 2. So who cares? There he is. There's a good picture of Hisoka. I mean, like, who cares at this point? It's ridiculous. Now, I'm just trying again to even think about what could happen in the future. It's so hard to predict it. I think in the next set of chapters, we will get another Prince death. Silent Majority may become the focus, and we may actually conclude the Silent Majority thing. Because I feel like that Silent Majority, we didn't even touch it in the last batch of chapters, which is kind of amazing to me. Furikov and Bavamania, I feel like are going to have more relevance in the next arc. Not next arc, the next set of chapters. And they may even uncover a very important piece of information about Kurapika's ability, and they may even fight Kurapika. Or at the very least Bill, or they may have a fight. I feel like maybe one or two of Camilla's guards will kill themselves, maybe enact the curse, maybe start the plot going with Camilla and how powerful her abilities are with the curse ability. Halkenberg may get back to his men, but if Ben wants to attack Halkenberg now, or they want to try and fight him, he's in a lot of trouble. Tserriednich will, of course, become more powerful. As time goes on, he gets stronger by default. The guards are going to learn more Nen, and they're going to become more self-reliant, which is why maybe Silent Majority's user will become kind of cornered, and maybe they can then take out Silent Majority. So that's my I feel like Silent Majority is going to be focused on the next set of chapters. As well, you'll get a little bit more mob stuff, and we may get a Prince death, and we may get some action from Camilla's, Curse Brigade. We might see more from Tyson and Lucerus, because those are the princes we didn't really have any development from yet. Miriam's a little kid. So I feel like, yeah, you got Tyson, Lucerus, and Silent Majority. I'd be on the lookout for those guys, because those plot points I feel like are the ones that are due next. Look at the mob. I see Hisoka popping out of the Jack in the Box in the next set of chapters. I just don't see it yet. You're probably gonna get another skirmish between the Haley and the Char and the families. So the Mafia War will probably pick up as well, the conflict with the mob. I really don't have much else. I mean, that's kind of it. I think I've spoken about most things. I mean, the Zodiac aren't really going to get involved until chaos erupts. Then there's then you might see some Zodiac. You might see some Zodiac. They may be very busy shuffling all the people, in the emergency procedures, and then you have the Cocking army. It's like, yeah, but the Zodiac, the Zodiac could take out that whole boat if they wanted to. Like, all the Zodiac together, nah. No, the boat doesn't stand a chance. The Zodiac 1, boat nothing. Okay. All right, and for everyone who's nerfing the Zodiac because Hisoka, rated them on a scale, oh my god, people. Hisoka is extremely powerful and stupid powerful, but we have all of the Zodiac on this boat, okay? One-on-one, okay, maybe Hisoka has some credibility here. One on everybody? I mean, Hisoka's going to have to pick his targets here, but he has a chance to do some significant damage. So there's a chance that it happens. Let's show off before I close this out. Let's get our Killua car here. Yeah, come on. You gotta love this one, man. This car is sick. Oh yeah. This was the first one I made, actually, so it's always great seeing it. Oh yeah, there it is. Godspeed car. Fuck yeah. Yes. Yes, me likey a lot, man. Oh, that's just sick. Yes. Yes. Speaking of Killua, I don't know. We're probably not going to see him until the Dark Continent is reached or gets closer. If the story ever does go back to the mainland, back to Gon somehow, like Killua, he may get involved eventually. But, I don't know. It's questionable. It is questionable. It's just weird. The graphics get even better in this game. Maybe they updated the graphics in the last patch. I feel like they're even crisper than before. Call me crazy. I mean, Gran Turismo has some of the best visuals in gaming. I feel. I mean, look at how realistic that looks. Just look at it. Look. They actually in these things they use partial real rendering, like they take a racetrack footage, they render it right directly from the real life footage, put the car on top of it, and then make it look extremely realistic. But they do it so well. Look at the grass. Look, there's even like an uneven dirt line in the grass. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so if the story ever does get past the Succession War, maybe, possibly, we'll get the Killua Nanika stuff and maybe Gon again. And then maybe also the remnants of, you got Ikalgo and you have Meleron and, Kite, Chimera Kite. You may get, some of those characters brought back in the story somehow. But not until the Succession War has to be finished. The new continent, we don't even have to necessarily reach the new continent because this boat could sink. And the Succession War could just... That first floor is actually a boat, if I'm not mistaken. So at the very least, that boat could continue on, and the Succession War and whoever got to floor 1 will just continue on, and the fucking conflict will continue as the rest of the civilians fucking drown in the ocean. So there's a possibility. A time frame as to when Togashi will get done with this current arc, I'd say within the next 5 years. I would say an estimate 3 years. If he releases 20 chapters a year. If he only does 10 a year again, if he goes back to doing only another set, well, maybe closer to 5. But if he can release one set of chapters like roughly springtime, one set of chapters roughly late fall time, early winter time, or something like that, yeah, we may get through the Succession War in the next 3 years. That's my prediction. Yeah, you're going to be fucking old. I'm getting fucking old as I'm talking, Every fucking time the chapters come out again, I'm like, how much older am I going to be when we finally get done with this arc? And that's what fans are saying 10 years ago before I even was in this series. 20 years ago. It's crazy, man. This series is just a fucking roller coaster because it's such great material and it's so slow, but it's so great. So in the long run, we get to talk about it and enjoy it for a longer period of time and not really get burned out by it. And we're not going to get bored of it necessarily either. Because if you are patient, this series does reward you very handsomely. You do get a good payoff if you're patient. And that's what I'm hoping happens with this Succession War. I want to see a nice conclusion. A lot of people are going to die. Some already have, and many more will. Tserriednich is a fucking monster. And I have no doubt that when the Kurapika Tserriednich conflict really centralizes around those two characters, it's going to be a fucking insane battle. And it's probably not going to be a battle like a typical battle. It's probably going to be, you know, sabotage and fucking skirmishes and hostage situations and all that stuff. And then after everything is, we'll get to the eyes. Maybe then, yes, maybe there is a fight at that very end. But the potential this Tserriednich character has, my gosh, like, I wouldn't be super opposed if the Kurapika Tserriednich storyline went into the new continent and went even further. But right now on this boat, you know, Tserriednich has to develop, and when he does, it's gonna be very fascinating. So let's see, we're going to 45 minutes here. Yeah, this is kind of an impromptu discussion. I didn't write down notes. I just wanted to talk. You know, I've thought about the series on and off since hiatus came back, and I felt like this game was a nice backdrop. The music is nice, showing off the car art that I've made for this game, and just talking about the series. So it'll act as a forum, discussion forum while we wait. So certainly, you know, post your topics below. Talk about things. Talk about ideas that you have. My big idea from after last set of chapters, there's a chance that Tserriednich's Nen comes from the future and has possessed his present body. And maybe that's why he's so skilled with Nen. Maybe he can send his Nen back into his future self, which would be fucking outstanding. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if that was possible? Like, you could send your Nen back into your past self to affect your present reality. That would be a ridiculous ability. And then it would also explain why he's so gifted with Nen in the fucking first place. Because it's already really powerful and he's just unlocking it. Right? So I had that theory. Like, somehow he's connected to his future self. He already can see into the future, so it's not so far-fetched that this guy has connections to the future, literally. Like Tserriednich could actually be connecting to his future self somehow. So yeah, I think I'm gonna close it there. But we shall wait and see what happens with the series, and hopefully, it is coming back within the next, I'd like 4 months, but within, you know, the next 6 months. I hope it does come back for its summertime. That'd be excellent. So we can get this thing rolling and continue. Because we're kind of hitting the higher point of this arc. It's heating up. Right now we're at that point where the water is just starting to boil. And then I think like this set of chapters and then the following one the water will be fully boiling. You know, I think we're at that point. So I can't wait. I really look forward to it. Hope you guys enjoyed this discussion, and I will see you around.